Ever feel like you need a secret decoder ring just to buy a car? Well, today you're in luck. We're about to crack the code on one of the most confusing and expensive parts of any new car, the seats. This is your insider's guide to seeing right through the sales pitch and understanding what you're really paying for.
So, picture this. You're at the dealership. The salesperson is hitting you with a barrage of terms, painting this incredible picture of luxury and comfort. You're nodding along, trying to look like you get it, but inside, your head is just spinning. Sound familiar? Yeah, that's a classic setup, and it's designed to overwhelm you.
You hear all these buzzwords, Napa leather, 12-way power adjust, zero gravity, and they all sound amazing, right? Of course they do. They're supposed to. These are carefully chosen words designed to make you feel premium, without giving you a single bit of real information about what you're actually getting.
And here's why those words are so dangerous. The price jump from a totally standard seat to one with all that fancy jargon can be more than 15,000 yuan. For a single seat, that is a massive markup. And the problem is, its real value is hidden in the details they really hope you'll never ask about.
Okay, so let's start with what they do want you to see. The best way to think about a car's brochure or feature list is like a restaurant menu. It is full of delicious-sounding descriptions, but you know what? It's only half the story.
Think about it this way. The menu says Kung Pao chicken. But is that the $20 greasy fast food version you get on a Tuesday night? Or is it the $80 mind-blowing version from a master chef? The feature list tells you what you're getting, but it tells you absolutely nothing about the quality of the ingredients. And here's exactly what that looks like in the real world. They say electric seat, but that could mean a cheap, basic 4-way adjustment or a premium 12-way system where every single extra motor adds another 500 yuan to the cost. Ventilated seat. Is that just a useless little duct that barely moves any air, or a powerful fan system that actually cools you down? And my favorite, Napa leather. That could be the real deal, costing 1,000 yuan per square meter. Or it could be Napa grain vinyl that costs a third of the price. The names are the same, but the quality and the cost are in completely different universes.
So if the brochure is just a fancy menu, where's the real recipe? Well, behind that glossy sales pitch, there's a document that car makers and their suppliers live and die by. It's the seat's invisible lifeline, the blueprint that dictates everything from whether it saves your life in a crash to whether your back is killing you after an hour on the road.
It's called the technical specification sheet. Forget the brochure. This is the document that truly matters. This isn't a sales tool. It's a legal and engineering contract. It defines the real performance, the durability, and most importantly, the safety of that seat. All the real secrets, all the real value, it's buried right here.
And here's a really crucial point about that spec sheet. Safety is not a universal standard. A seat that's considered safe in China has to meet totally different rules than one in Europe or the US. For instance, the US standard is obsessed with preventing whiplash, while the Chinese standard is much more focused on side impact strength. Now, meeting each of these standards costs a fortune in testing, so a car maker might just design a seat to pass the cheaper, local standard, which saves them money, but could offer you a lot less protection than a seat built for the global market.
Now let's talk comfort for a second. Everyone thinks that when you sit in a car at the showroom, that super soft plush seat that you just sink right into is the most comfortable one, right? I mean, that feels like the ideal. But what if I told you that feeling is a complete trap?
Yep, it is a sales trap. That initial sinking in feeling is fantastic for a 5-minute test drive, but on a 2-hour road trip, it is a disaster. A seat that's too soft offers absolutely zero support. Your muscles have to constantly work just to keep you stable, and that's what leads to fatigue and back pain. True long-distance comfort, it comes from firm, ergonomic support that actually holds you in place.
And if you think these little technical details are no big deal, think again. Here is a true story. One supplier lost 3 times million yuan in profit because they missed one single line in the spec sheet. The spec demanded that the seat heater had to reach 35 degrees Celsius in under 2 minutes, with almost perfect heat distribution. Their standard heater couldn't do it. They had to scramble and switch to a much more expensive one at the last minute, and that one tiny line completely erased their entire profit margin. That's how important the fine print is.
So when you're paying thousands for a premium seat, where's that money actually going? It's not just the leather and the motors. Let's peel back the curtain and look at the hidden factory costs that you're the one paying for. First, let's look at the physical materials. Check out this chart. Almost half the cost is in stuff you will never see, the steel or aluminum frame and the seat rails. That's the core structure, the part that has to withstand crash forces. The comfort components, the foam and the covers, that's only about a third of the cost. And all those fancy electronics, they're actually the smallest piece of the puzzle. The foundation is where the real money is.
But there's more. The price tag on that car also covers all these invisible costs. It can cost up to 8 million yuan just for the molds and tools to manufacture a new seat design. And your risk? A car maker might just put a new cover on an old seat frame from a previous model and sell it to you as all new. Then you've got R&D and testing, which can be 15% of the total cost. If they cut corners there, you get features that are literally designed to fail right after your warranty expires. It's a real strategy.
Okay, so you're armed with all this knowledge. How do you actually use it? Well, I'm going to give you a toolkit. 5 simple, powerful questions you can ask at the dealership that will completely change the dynamic and show them that you've done your homework.
All right, get ready to write these down. First, which car is this seat's quality benchmarked against? This forces them to name a competitor and reveals their true ambition for what luxury actually means. Second, what specific safety standards does this seat pass? This shows you know that safe has different definitions and you want to know which one they actually chose. Third, is this a new platform seat or a carryover part? This is a direct shot at cost cutting. It asks if you're paying a 2024 price for a 2020 seat design. Fourth, who supplies the key electronic components? This tells you if they're using a top-tier supplier with a reputation for reliability or some cheap alternative for parts used every single day. And finally, number 5, how is it designed for long-distance support, not just softness? This forces them to talk about real ergonomics, not just the 5-minute showroom feeling.
So to put it all together, think of it this way. The brochure is the picture on the jigsaw puzzle box. It looks great, but the real value, the quality, the safety, the durability, that's in the pieces themselves. The spec sheet is what tells you what those pieces are actually made of. You have to look past the pretty picture to know if you're building something solid.
Ultimately, judging a car seat isn't about adding up the cost of leather and plastic. It's about understanding the invisible engineering, the safety trade-offs, and the thousands of hidden decisions that were made long before that car ever hit the showroom floor. The good news is you no longer have to guess. Now you hold the blueprint.